We're in today with the RTX 3050. This is a nearly 2 years old video card with 2560 shaders, 8 GB of VRAM GDDR6 at 128 bits bus width, running at 1552 MHz on the core clock and 1750 MHz on the memory clock. We're going to pair it up today with this i7 7700 and we're going to see how this CPU is holding with 4 cores and 8 threads. Let's jump in a couple of games and see how the whole system is holding. Alright, let's start with Starfield and see how the CPU and the GPU is holding. I want to put it on Ultra and I will put it here as a preset. I'm going to put maximum details without upscaling. I'm going to use DLSS, but I want to see without how it's performing. All right, so how we doing with Starfield? Apparently on average we get like 26 FPS. This is maximum details and there is no upscaling. On the system, I got 13.6 gig of system RAM being utilized, 60% load on the CPU. The CPU is doing a fantastic job because barely 40 watts consumption in this situation, because now the culprit here, it's the GPU. But this is maximum quality with no upscaling, so hence why I want to see with maximum upscaling if DLSS can help. So let's go into the settings and see on the display side. If we put upscaling, we're gonna put DLSS and we're gonna put performance. So with DLSS, apparently we are getting like around 40 FPS, so does the job with this configuration. You can actually see the big increase in the CPU load. You can actually see the cores and the threads are being utilized properly now in order to deliver that performance. Now I got like 14 gig of system RAM with DLSS and 80% load on the core. With this video card, I think 2060 or 2060 Super will be ideal for this CPU. How about if we are putting ultra performance on DLSS? I mean, ultra performance, it's theoretically it's giving me like 5 FPS. So with ultra performance on DLSS, this is getting even better because I'm reaching nearly 50 FPS, 46, 47, 50 FPS. Look at that, 50 FPS. So in this case, the stress from the GPU, it's nearly taken off. I mean, not taken off, it's just utilizing more. 7 gig of VRAM. You can actually see the quality on the game. It's still okay with DLSS. So there is no problem with the overall quality. Let's see how Cyberpunk is working with this. It is gonna be very interesting to see the performance. So ultra details, no upscaling, yes. So gonna put Fidelity FX off, and it was on ultra, yes. All right, let's see how Cyberpunk is working. Kind of good experience in Cyberpunk if you're willing to do the right settings here. 45 FPS on average. 17 on minimals and 33 1%. I like the numbers that I'm seeing here, you know. I mean, the CPU is doing great, 35 watts consumption. You can actually see 70-80% load on the cores, around 80% load on the general load on the CPU, 56-60 degrees. Kind of good for this performance with the CPU. Only 12 gig of system RAM being utilized, and on the GPU side is maxed out. Seriously, look at that, 7.2 gig of VRAM taken for this performance. You can actually see that everything is good with the CPU. So yeah, I like how it's working without any upscale. Now I'm gonna put ray tracing on ultra. I'm gonna put DLSS with ultra performance. Yes, it feels so smooth. So even with the ray tracing, apparently we are getting that performance like 60-70. Oh my god, it's distressed the GPU. This was on maximum load on the GPU, yes? Now I got 7.5 gig of VRAM. It's using a video card. Oh my god. I'm actually curious how it looked. It looks great, man. It looks great. What the heck is going on? You see the edges? I thought it was like artifacting because of the DLSS, but it looks great, you know? I can see some dodgy things, you know, the grass and stuff, but whenever I'm playing a game like this, I don't pay attention to the bags because I look in front of the car, you know, I look at the lights, you know, the ambient light, how it is, and now on ray tracing, it's kind of cool to see. So overall, I'm getting like what, 60 FPS, 30 on minimal, and 42 on 1%. It looks gorgeous. On the CPU side, you can actually see 12.3 gig of system RAM, and everything is maxed out. Look at it. I don't know. I like it. I like everything about this. Seriously, I like everything about this DLSS and RTX video cards. Let's jump into No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky has got DLSS, so we have to use this because it's kind of important for this video card and the system. So I put everything on maximum details without any upscaling. So anti-aliasing, it's all. I'm gonna put DLSS soon, and I'm gonna see how it's running. Can actually see that the system is doing fantastic with 80 FPS on average. This is exactly what I need from this computer. I like how it's performing. I like how it looks. I like everything about it. Look at this. Oh yeah, this is how you need to mind your own business. But it does the job. It does fantastic job here overall. 99% load on the GPU with 6.7 gig of system RAM, with 6.7 gig of VRAM being utilized here with 63 degrees. That is done by 1000 RPM. I mean, the GPU is cool, it looks cool, and it's cool. See, this is what I like about this type of GPU. Let's take a look on the CPU side. You can actually see some threads are reaching 100%, a couple of them, you know, and the CPU cores are barely around 60% load. Yeah, it's okay. I think if we can put DLSS, we're gonna see different performance. Yes? Let's try. Well, on DLSS, apparently the sky looks kind of low quality, but it's working with DLSS with this video card. Apparently, I'm getting nice performance, so I'm not gonna complain here because it's doing the job, DLSS. You know, so in this case, I'm actually happy that I have this option with the computer. You can actually see the average performance on the CPU has managed to increase. In this situation, I got like nearly 31 watts consumption, 35 watts consumption overall. The CPU I seen it to 90% load in some cases, but yeah, I like it. I like everything about this performance. It looks good, it runs good, so overall it's fine. You know, in some cases you can actually see some artifacts here and there, like some rocks levitating. What the Hogwarts Legacy with maximum details, no upscaling, I get 20 FPS. My favorite place to butcher the system, it's in the park here, it's in the garden. And I got 15, 10, 18, oh my god, it's not very playable. There's no upscaling here and the GPU gets murdered. So on the system side, I get 21.6 gig of system RAM utilized, 100 watts power consumption from the GPU, 95% load on the GPU. The GPU apparently it's yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how it's holding. What's the problem? The threads on the CPU, apparently it's not reaching maximum. I mean, a couple of them are reaching maximum, and I think the CPU neither. So in this case, on overall situation, I can actually see that the GPU is maxed out. So yeah, I think DLSS is going to help us. So I don't have enough, I don't need a lot of proof that I need DLSS in this case. So yes, let's see how it's working with DLSS. Okay, so on upscaling, we're going to put DLSS. We're going to put ultra performance. I can see actually the artifacting, but I think if I disable some settings, I can actually get playable FPS. I mean, it's not. This is not the whole point. You can see when you're moving the mouse. Oh my god, it looks around the edges. It looks funky. Seriously, I get 30-40 FPS instead of 10-20 FPS. So if you're interested on playing Hogwarts Legacy and you got a 3050 in your PC with an i7 7th gen, apparently you can play it, but you have to lower some details in order to benefit from this DLSS. So on the CPU side, apparently we are getting more load on the CPU at 24 gig of system RAM, and yeah, I think this is that moment when the CPU gets a lot of load. Let's jump into War Thunder and see how it's rocking with maximum details on 1080p, and then we're gonna use DLSS and see if we can improve something. Let's jump in. 100 FPS on average. There's some spikes here and there, but that's not the problem. The problem is the CPU score. Oh my god, look at that. Okay, let's take a look on the CPU side. Oh my God, the core on the CPU is maxed out. The thread is maxed out. Oh, what's wrong with this i7? So look at this. The second core is maxed out. The second threads, it's maxed out. So the CPU in this case is giving me a problem. Seriously, I never thought. Even though it's got 30 watts consumption, you know, it's doing a fantastic work with less than 10 gig of system RAM. So I don't know what's wrong with this. So without any upscaling, the game is working really nice on this. But on the GPU side is okay. It's a kind of fantastic performance. I don't think there is any need for DLSS because we got 120 FPS. So the core is not even maxed out. The VRAM is not even maxed out. It's got 100 watts consumption and it's got 61 degrees, but it's doing okay. The GPU is doing okay. Let's jump into Fortnite and see how the system is holding with this game on DirectX 12. I put DLSS on balance. I have medium shadows, ambient occlusion, lumen high, texture medium, and ray tracing it's on. 70 FPS on average, 4 on minimals, 27 on 1%. I mean, it's not that bad, you know. It looks and it feels fantastic. 80 watts consumption on the GPU. 4.6 gig of VRAM. It's getting there, you know, the whole system is getting there and I like it. It's stabilizing now after I managed to land. I don't know what was the load, but yeah, even the CPU was maxed out. You know, I was a little scared that the CPU can handle the performance in Fortnite with ray tracing. You can actually see it's not maxed out in this situation, so I can say it's working, the CPU. 14.4 gig system RAM, it's being utilized, 70% load on the CPU. It's getting there, you know, the CPU is doing the job. It's not hot, 52 degrees with 35 watts consumption. It's better now after I managed to land. I don't know how it's going to be in a fight, but goddamn, even on medium details with ray tracing, it's looking fantastic. The overall performance is kind of fantastic. I like the CPU and I like the GPU, but today I noticed the GPU was a bit more loaded than the CPU. I have to put another video card in the future. I think a 2060 Super will do here, or maybe a 3060, who knows. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting in the future to test the CPU because overall it's a fantastic platform to have and play games on it because it's kind of cool, seriously, this idea with RTX. I don't know what you think about the system. I really appreciate it if you smash that like button, if you manage to find it entertaining, this 3050, and if you have any suggestions for this i7, please leave a comment and I will try my best to find my way to that suggestion. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and I'll see you very soon.